Hi there, welcome back to GDB Guitar Tuition. I'm Gary Brown and I thought I'd do a quick lesson on finger picking for beginners. It's a subject that comes up a lot. Quite a few guitarists are quite scared of finger picking. They think it's really difficult, and I'm hopefully going to dispel those myths, and hopefully you'll be a master of it pretty quick. Okay, so first things first. I'm assuming you know the string numbers. Obviously 6th string being the thickest string, 1st string being the thinnest string, the E strings, both of those, low E and high E. Here's low E, here's high E. Okay, and a couple of other basics that you need to know. Thumb on your right hand, your picking hand, it goes by the letter P, means polka. The first finger or index finger, we call it I. Middle finger, you get to stick your fingers up at me now, so it's an M. And finally the ring finger, the annular finger, is an A. So just to run through that again, it's P, I, M and A. Okay, so P controls the 6th string. It's always going to pick the 6th string in this exercise that we're going to do, the exercises that we're going to do. So we're going to go for P on the 6th string first. Okay, now the way I'm holding my hand, there's often quite a lot of debate about this. Some people claw their hand up like that and pick that way. I wouldn't recommend that because it's unnatural. The way I see it is, if it's unnatural, it could cause you some aches and pains and you shouldn't do it. If you were watching television or at ease, shall we say, sitting around relaxing, your hand is generally just going to be like this. It's just going to be relaxed. Your fingers tend to sort of point in towards the palm pretty much, and your thumb just sort of sits over the top. Your hand is relaxed, it's not stretching out, you're not stretching your little finger, you're not leaning on anything, your wrist isn't bent over like this. It's just all fairly straight and fairly natural. That's exactly how you play the guitar. Because if you play the guitar, if you practice for an hour and you're doing something unnatural like bending your wrist, after an hour that's going to hurt. You know, so anything like that, just avoid that because you're going to start straining things. Okay, so we'll go back to the picking. Now what I would do is I'd touch the strings that you're going to pick. The P, or thumb, is touching the 6th string. Just touch it, just rest it on the top there. The first finger, or the index finger, the one you point at people with, touches the 3rd string. Okay, the second finger, the middle finger, the one you stick up at people if they're rude to you, that's touching the 2nd string. And the 3rd finger, the A, the annular finger, that's touching the 1st string. So just literally touch the strings, correct strings now. Okay, so once we have that, we can start the picking exercise. So P is going to pick the 6th string as we did before. Okay, 1st finger, or I, is going to pick the 3rd string. And the picking action is just to pull up gently, just so that your finger's never more than a centimetre away. You see people do this. That's not at all what we want. We just want minimal movement so that it's from this top knuckle here. So we're just literally doing that to pick the strings, and slightly up as well. Not clawing, just gently pulling up on the string. You don't need much of much movement there. So we're just going to pick P, I, M, which is picking the 2nd string, and A, which is picking the 1st string. Okay, so that's actually our exercise. P, I, M, A, and comes up on the screen now so that you won't forget it. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What I'd recommend is that you use a metronome and get that in time. Click, 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 click. Okay, make sure it's nice and tight with a metronome. The other thing is, it's best to repeat this as many times as you can just to get the technique. Now, provided you're not stretching anything or bending your wrist or doing anything silly like that, that shouldn't be a problem. Just do literally 5 minutes with the metronome every day and you'll get used to that. Notice my fingers are never that far from the strings. I'm not pulling my hand out like that. You do see people do it, and sometimes it can work, it depends. I mean, I've seen some great guitarists with fairly poor right hand technique on that. So it is debatable, you know, another teacher could say a different thing. But I've just found, and in my experience, I've found that nice relaxed hand, natural position is best. Okay, so exercise 2. Let's try P, A, M, I. So instead of string 6, 3, 2, 1, we're going to go 6, 1, 2, 3. So it's P, A, M, I. Again, just use the metronome. If you haven't a metronome, you can tap your foot just for a basic metronome, but if we don't use a metronome, we tend to let ourselves off quite a lot. The timing errors, we sort of just forget about them. Now, what we can do, there's loads of exercises on this. I've got hundreds of exercises, literally hundreds of exercises on this. And I'll probably do a lesson 2, maybe even a lesson 3 on this. But for now, let's just do a few basic exercises. So exercise 3 will be like this. P, I, M, A, M, I. Just do that again. It's P, I, M, A, M, I. Okay? So it goes this way and then this way. So we're going to go P, I, M, A, M, I. And it's got a 6/8 feel or a 3/4 feel. It's got a very 3/4 or triplet feel. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's very common, very, very common, and really nice as well. It's a nice one. That's a good exercise. And finally, I just thought I'd throw in exercise 4 here, because it's almost 2 exercises in one. This is a very common picking pattern on quite a lot of songs. We're going to do P, I, M, I, so that's half of it. I'll just run that again. It's P, I, M, I, so it's string 6, 3, 2, 3. Yeah, get that first, and then add this. I'll do that again. It was A, M, I, A. A, M, I, A. Okay, so we'll put them together. P, I, M, I, A, M, I, A. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see that obviously in the letters as well, because that will help. Okay, so they're the basic 4 that I'd work on for now. Just to remind you, P, I, M, A, P, A, M, I, and then you've got the P, I, M, A, M, I, really nice one that, and then P, I, M, I, A, M, I, A. Okay, now obviously putting chords with that and all sorts of different things, that's much more complex, and that's why I say there's so many picking patterns. There's literally hundreds probably. In theory there could be a limitless amount. And it's important to just get these basics right first, and then hopefully in lesson 2, maybe even lesson 3, we'll go into more of them and hopefully have even more fun with them. So don't be scared of them, don't be scared of these exercises. They're easy if you practice them slowly, practice them the right way, and enjoy them. And I hope that's helped, and I hope you've enjoyed it. See you soon. God bless.